Hello, and welcome to the Best Versus movie. Over the years, people have often wondered who would win in a fight between so-and-so and such, as you can probably tell already by looking at our channel, among others. But sometimes, they go so far as to make an official movie of this sort of thing.
Usually, they're actually kind of garbage, because making crossover fighting movies is difficult. However, with this series, we're going to try and find the diamond in the rough of fighting movies.
But before we begin this long journey, we need to set up a few rules regarding what we consider a versus movie. The characters must be pre-existing, and from different franchises. The characters in question must have some form of conflict, preferably a fight, but we will let other forms such as chase scenes slide.
And the title's gotta be versus, not X, slash, or meets. Anyways, since not all of these are good, we'll also be ranking them based on entertainment value, satisfying fights, and if there's an actual winner.
Because fights without winners are cop-outs! Oh yeah, and this is a collaborative effort with Ribbit Theater.
Hello everybody, pleasure to be here, and I look forward to looking into some of these masterpieces.
Poor naive Ribbit. Welcome to the Best Versus movie. Today, before we begin with our episode of Sadako VS Kayako, The Ring VS The Grudge, we have
We'd
to
like
mention
to thank
something.
our sponsor.
No, we don't. Our Best Versus movie is brought to you thanks to Honey!
No! It's thanks
Yes.
to Blue Dick, not Apron,
Blue Apron.
Dick.
Okay, well, okay.
Thank you, Ducko.
So you know how
I
we,
agree.
you know how in our Best Versus movie little, we have like how many fights? I mean, how many movies did we have listed?
18.
We had 18 listed. We're removing 2 of them due to, well, we just I don't want to watch them.
We heard that Billy the Kid versus Dracula wasn't actually Dracula, and we're kind of Dracula'd out, I guess. Or
Yeah,
at least,
I mean, Dracula vs. Frankenstein really ruins things.
or at least
Showed us how
Dracula
boring
with
he could be.
goatee. I did not like goatee Dracula, I'm sorry.
And also, Billy the Kid. Billy the Kid is just like an actual guy.
Yeah,
It's
and
okay.
speaking of actual people being removed from the
We were
list,
originally gonna do Dahmer vs. Gacy, which is an actual movie that exists. But
yeah.
we decided that might be a little in poor taste, maybe?
yeah,
They're real life
feel
serial
like-
killers.
We also probably couldn't make many jokey jokes.
And I don't imagine we would have much to say during the previewing. Now, I have a
Yeah.
personal
Well,
collection.
here's my connection.
I know a lot about
connection.
John Wayne Gacy.
I mean, my mom studies serial killers for some reason, but I don't know.
But anyways, now we're down to 16 movies, which means we're already at the halfway point. So now,
Yeah.
it's time for us to talk about Sadako vs. Kayako, The Ring vs. The Grudge. Ducko, can you tell us your history of these two characters?
Okay, so I vaguely knew of these when I was younger. I know that The Ring is about a girl who comes out of a well, then comes out of the videotape, but before that she calls you on the phone first and whispers, 7 days. And
Yes.
you know what I think? It should just record over the tape, record it over with like fucking Seinfeld reruns or some shit. And Seinfeld
I
has to
feel
deal
like
with
that
it.
would just mean if you watch an episode of Seinfeld, you'll die soon in like 7 days, but you'll just unknowingly be watching an episode of Seinfeld.
No, Jerry said George Costanza will hit her over the head with a baseball bat.
That's how I wanna
feel
die,
like that's
watching
not. I feel like
Seinfeld.
that's not gonna kill a ghost.
What's the deal? Well, she's stuck in the videotape. She's in videotape world. Anyways,
She'll
all
just crawl out.
she'll crawl, but the Seinfeld crew is gonna record
Ducko,
Ghostbusters.
your harebrained Seinfeld scheme is not gonna
Well,
work.
you know what? If it doesn't work with Seinfeld, record Ghostbusters over it. There, they have ghostbusting equipment.
I don't think you know how the ring works.
I'm sorry.
Okay, what do you know about the Grudge?
Okay, all I know the Grudge is the girl looks kind of like the Ring girl. She haunts somebody's house. And there's
Well,
also
the Grudge
some-
is a face. The Grudge
Oh.
shows her face a lot more.
Oh yeah, there's that. There's also some creepy bowl cut kid, and she does the weird croaking thing. I won't do it because it freaks out Max, but my mom and I found it funny. For some reason, I wrote my mom and I found Ribbit.
You just found me. You just found me somewhere.
Yeah.
Me, I'm actually a big fan of both these franchises. I haven't seen every entry, but I've seen like the original Ringu and Ju-on. I've seen like I saw the Japanese originals and I saw their American remakes, but I didn't see any of the sequels to the American remakes. I remember with Ju-on, it was started as like a short film that I recently watched like yesterday, and it's actually pretty interesting. It's the very first appearance of The Grudge. It was in a little short, like 3-minute little film. I saw the Ju-on the Curse movies and the Ju-on the Grudge movies, and then the American remakes, like I said. Not a lot of horror movie characters actually genuinely frighten me, but Kayako is the exception. I really find The Grudge actually creepy. I think it stems from the death rattle, but I also found her movies to be deeply disturbing, and they are pretty effective, actually. I really respect those movies, and I haven't seen the crummy ones, so I mean, it can be bad, but I've just seen the good ones. I've been able to see the good ones.
Are you scared of the Budweiser frogs because they make that weird like?
No, I'm fucking not.
Budweiser.
Just The Grudge it just freaks me out.
Ribbit. Ribbit. You're scared of Ribbit.
I'm not scared of frogs. But yeah, that death rattle, I don't like it when people make the noise, because, I mean, it's creepy. As for The Ring, I've seen the Japanese original and the American remake, but I've also read the manga, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. The manga is really good. There's a character in the manga, Ryuji, I'm pretty sure, and he reminds me a lot of L, and I really liked him for that. He was actually a really cool detective character, and they tried to figure out the whole mystery with The Ring. And they did, but they were able to successfully save the mom, but then Ryuji sadly dies at the end because he only got rid of the ring for her. For L. I find The Ring scary sometimes as well, but I think Kayako is more disturbing overall and usually gets under my skin more. But the Ring movies have a cooler concept with the 7 days and the videotape and all that. I think it's a cooler concept, The Grudge is still a pretty cool concept, although it's a pretty standard ghost haunting the house thing. And I really hope this movie's good, because I respect both franchises a lot, and any kind of franchise that has genuinely scared me, I feel like I'm not going to be happy if it sucks. I want it to at least be better than Sharktopus vs. Werewolf. Oh god. Well. Probably won't be, from what I hear, but, there's always a chance for anything. Ribbit, how about you?
I've never seen either. I know.
I specifically tried not to do that.
That was rude,
I've seen the end of this movie, and it's a very shit ending, so I don't have high hopes for it.
Well, okay, we'll admit, me, Ribbit, and Ducko, before we even started the Best Versus movie, we saw the ending to this, and this might have been the inspiration a little bit. I think we were talking about Best Versus movies, we talked about this, we watched the fight, which is like, I mean, there could be fight scenes earlier in the movie, but we just saw the one at the end where things get butt-fucking insane, I can say that much. But we'll get to that when we actually talk about the movie.
We'll cross that bridge. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think, well, Ribbit, have you ever, seen references to Ring and Grudge?
Yes, I have, and I like the Croak one.
That's The Grudge. Yes.
Yeah, I like the Grudge. I enjoy the Grudge a bit more, I'd say. The Ring is a little bit more overplayed in media. I don't see the Grudge reference.
Yeah, the Ring is referenced a lot. And
yeah,
I think that's what probably helps me not as scared of her as I am as The Grudge, because she gets parried a lot.
Yeah, I can see why people I can see why it's a cool idea. It's just one that doesn't scare me.
These J-horror characters are actually pretty interesting, so I'm glad we're talking about them, although I'm less glad that it's this movie that we have to this is the only opportunity I'm going to get with Ducko and Ribbit to talk about The Ring and The Grudge. And this is it. This is the moment. I can't imagine best Ju-on movie on Galaxy Video.
Oh, I also remember a Ray Charles Mad TV parody of The Grudge where he was just singing along with it, croaking and such.
All right.
It was
okay. So now we're gonna watch The Ring vs. The Grudge, and we'll get to you guys afterwards.
Yippee.
Hello guys, welcome. We just finished watching the Ring vs The Grudge, and it's actually, I think it was actually a pretty decent movie as far as Ring and Grudge movies are concerned. But Ducko, I'll have you start. You start us off with entertainment value.
Okay, so as like a creepy horror movie, it was effective and it freaked me out a little bit. Some things I don't understand, like the Grudge like moves like slow as hell, but I guess it just like paralyzes people with fear. Is that what it does?
I mean, how do you think you'd react if you saw that thing crawling towards you, making the fucking death?
I mean, if it didn't like have that as a power, like you could just run up to it and kick the shit out of it.
Probably wouldn't work against the ghost.
I don't know if that would work. I feel like the Grudge is
I feel like the Grudge has powers to prevent that from happening.
Or if like it doesn't like paralyze, if it's not paralyzing you with fear, then you could just run away. But that's what I assume is happening.
Yeah.
Well, usually that's what they do in the Grudge movies, and they run away, but throughout the movie, the Grudge gets you.
Does it get a bike?
It was an effective horror. Like there's actually a lot of scenes in the movie that were pretty scary. Like genuinely scary. And I think that's a good point. And
yeah.
I'm glad they did that. There were scenes where the ring was like actually in the background, and they didn't draw attention to it. You had to notice it. You had to notice that the ring was just watching them, and that was pretty cool. They have a character at the first half of the movie who's basically like Ryuji from the first Ring, like the Ring manga I was talking about, and also the other Ring stuff. And I liked it because he was acting like him. That was my favorite character. But then he like died by getting his head sandwiched during a scene that Ribbit unfortunately missed, where they forced the girl to drink a lot of holy water. They started slapping each other in the face.
Yeah, I had hot dogs.
and then two girls got possessed by the Grudge. I mean the Ring. And they snapped their own necks. It got fucking insane.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Unfortunately, the Grudge is barely in this. It's more like a Ring movie.
Yeah, the Grudge was not particularly prominent in this movie.
I mean, I will say that they do have some scenes of the kid, Grudge's Kayako's son.
Some kids.
The cat kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made cat noises.
There was a scene where the kid, he killed like 4 other kids or something, and that was. I wasn't expecting kids to actually like a horror movie, because horror movies usually stray away from killing kids unless it's like a really trashy movie. So I mean, I guess that proves this movie has guts. I guess I'm not particularly happy that those kids died. One of them took a rock to the face like a fucking champ. A rock hit him right in the forehead, and he didn't even scream.
Yeah, 2 rocks. You hit him in the nose later.
And he just didn't make a noise, like ah. He was just angry. The characters in this are actually, they're pretty sympathetic and likable, and I felt bad for those girls who ended up dying. Especially this one girl who like got really depressed and wanted to kill herself before the Ring could do it. And it was actually pretty effective. I think the acting in this is really good compared to the other movies we've had. These are some of the more sympathetic humans that we've had to talk about.
Although I'll point out that we were watching a dubbed version, but like it seemed like emoting wise and like I guess like moving around stuff like that. I guess they acted like facially and all that. They still were doing well.
Sometimes the plans, Ryuji got replaced with this other dude. Well, I shouldn't call him Ryuji. That's not his actual name. But the guy who was obsessed with Ring and whatever, he got replaced by some other jerk.
Yeah, he was like, his plans were dumb. He was our,
I guess, really stupid plan. You're like, okay,
least favorite character.
You're haunted by the Grudge, and you're haunted by the Ring. How about we get you also haunted by the Grudge, and you also haunted by the Ring, right? Right?
I mean, they had to make them fight somehow.
The girls, they had like really confused reactions, like they knew it was stupid. And it didn't work because everyone died at the end of this. every character was dead.
Yeah, only 2 characters survived, and those being the Ring and the
Oh
Grudge.
yeah, well, we'll get to that. I think we can get to satisfying fights, I guess. But I will, yeah. As for the fights, there wasn't really a fight, if we're being honest.
No, that
There
wasn't.
was
I mean,
like
they were competing against each other.
The closest we had to a physical confrontation was them tripping over.
Well, no, the Grudge gave the Ring a big old hug.
yeah,
She
Just-
hugged her.
just dragged them, and then they just decided like, you know what, we're not
They
fighting.
went outside, and well, they just so happened to have a fresh well right here. Well, wouldn't it be great if we could just use some Looney Tunes cartoon antics and get them to run into each other?
Yeah, they baited.
I said that the entire final fight was basically just you know that awful meme Big Chungus. It's like if you turned that scene into a climax. Like we'll get them to run into each other. We'll put them inside the hole. Then we put something on top of it. But then they just
They had this like shitty
Yeah,
straw.
it's
Yeah, and
uh,
they
draw
yeah,
a
that'll
triangle.
hold them all right.
because they're not like 2, they could take off that thing, and it's like that'll hold them all right.
We should mention what happens with the Ring and the Grudge. When they slammed into each other, they fused into this giant gelatinous blob. They sunk down, killed Yuri, who was like one of the main characters. They just sat on her. She died. But then when they crawled on out of there, when they crawled on out of the straw manhole cover, they were a fusion of the Ring and the Grudge. They fused together, and also that boy was there. And then they just killed the remaining 2 characters, and that was it. They just... I guess we should... That leads right into was there a winner, in which case
No.
the Ring and the Grudge won. The bad guys, the villains fucking won.
Well, okay.
Which-
Well, when you say was there a winner, I mean in the sense of the
And
Ring
this-
versus
nobody
the Grudge.
really won.
There's the movie is called The Ring versus the Grudge, and we did not get a winner between the 2.
Yeah, they
okay.
they
I think
splatted
for the
together.
most part, when they fought, the Ring was kicking the Grudge's ass. It looked like the Grudge never looked like it was getting any edge over the Ring, and the Ring was really shoving her hair down the Grudge's throat and blowing her up. So, I mean, nobody really won, but the Ring was winning the fight before they became one.
But that's not a winner. I'm sorry.
It's not a winner. It
don't
just
think
means
I
that
can
they
qualify.
both won. So again, I mean, it is sad because a lot of our movies so far have they've had winners. This is the one that probably had. Is there any movie that had less winners than this?
Freddy vs. Jason.
No, Jason pretty much won that.
I think the worst one is probably Shark vs. Whale Wolf. But I'd say even that one. Not even.
No, because
Yeah.
the werewolf. He
Yeah,
shoved
that
him into the electric fence.
Yeah, it was more just
Oh, yeah.
Whale Wolf. It's more just Whale Wolf one
They
because
didn't-
of the humans.
They didn't just do the fusion dance.
Yeah, that's.
Was this a
Sorry.
good movie?
I think it was alright.
What would you
It was alright.
I
Yeah.
think it was actually a pretty effective horror movie.
I could
It
go
was-
with I feel like I could have gone through life with or without watching it, and nothing would really change.
I think it was actually pretty good.
It was
I
alright.
think it was something that if I was ever in the mood for a Grudge or if I was in the mood for a Ring movie,
Yeah,
not a Grudge movie.
If you're in the mood for the
But if
Grudge,
I was in the
just-
mood for a Ring movie, I'd probably put it on.
if you're in
I
the
would
mood
watch
for
it
a
again.
Grudge movie, do not watch this movie. Only
Yeah,
if you're
don't
in the
come
mood
to
for
this
a Ring
thinking you're
movie.
watching The Grudge. The Grudge just makes cameos in the Ring's movie.
I like.
I guess that's what happens because the Ring is a lot more popular than the Grudge.
I like the Grudge's style a bit more, so I guess that was a little bit disappointing to me, but still.
But yeah, they well trapped and fusioned, and then they just won in the end, which is sad because I like the characters in this actually. This is where things get confused. I don't know where this should rank.
I don't. Okay,
For-
so King
What are
Kong...
the competitors for this movie?
I don't
What
think
is-
these series are conducive to a versus movie, I guess.
I wanna say its main rivals are either Sharks vs. Werewolf or King Kong vs.
King Kong vs.
Godzilla.
Godzilla is its main rival.
Because the thing, well, I liked it more than King Kong vs. Godzilla, but I feel like you guys have. I feel like we're gonna. the
I'm
history's gonna
not
repeat
sure. I have
itself.
no idea.
I
I'm kind of.
Feel like
let's
there's
hear-
more of a fight at the end for King Kong vs. Godzilla.
It's just the human characters were so much better here, like, and they took up so much of the movie in both. It's like, did I enjoy the 10% of both movies where the bad guys were on screen, or did I enjoy the 90% of the movie where the humans were on screen?
Well, I mean, here's what I'm thinking. I think we can say The Ring vs. The Grudge is a better movie, but I think King Kong vs. Godzilla is the better versus movie. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Because The Ring
I
vs.
also-
The Grudge,
Okay.
the versus stuff basically
Yeah.
wasn't much, but I would rather watch Ring vs. Grudge.
Although,
But if we're determining-
although, I feel like this was more true to the Ring and Grudge, because
Yeah.
King Kong vs. Godzilla, I don't think that was King Kong, honestly.
Yeah, that was more like Giant Ape versus Godzilla.
That was Giant Ape with electric powers versus Godzilla.
But yeah, and they gave it electric powers.
Yeah.
But I think for a versus movie, since I don't, how, are we determining this on like the best versus movie as in being a movie involving versus, or being a movie with versus stuff in it? That's a
I
dumb
mean,
thing, actually.
I don't know. I don't feel comfortable putting this below King Kong vs. Godzilla because it's just.
Wait,
a
if we're
much
putting
better
it below
movie.
King Kong vs. Godzilla, does that mean we're putting it below Sharktopus vs. Werewolf?
Yes.
Oh man,
Do we have to do a re-ranking already, or what?
I don't even know why. Okay, Sharktopus. Let's have a discussion about
Oh,
where
boy.
Sharktopus versus Werewolf should even be, because I feel offended for Ring and Grudge if I'm going to say that goddamn Sharktopus and Werewolf beats them out.
I feel I feel offended about King Kong Godzilla too because I just remember being really distressed during that movie. I remember being
Let me
really
think
bored.
here. Ring versus the Grudge.
I'm sorry, Ducko. I
Their
did not
fight
enjoy that as
scene-
much as you. Clearly.
I only like the fight scene in King Kong versus Godzilla.
Exactly, and that's
This-
not enough
I
for
mean,
it to
the
win.
the scenes in
over.
this, the scenes in this with the Grudge and the Ring are sort of fighting. They were creepy. It was kind of creepy, which is in character for
The
Ring
thing,
and Grudge.
okay, I feel like the lacking
I mean-
fight scene isn't actually the Ring and Grudge's fault because the Ring and the Grudge are very static,
Yeah.
insta
Do
kill
you
characters.
think the Ring and the Grudge would just be like trading blows?
yeah,
in a
they
fight?
haven't
Would
got
they be punching each other?
they haven't got like abilities that are expanded enough for a hand-to-hand fight.
This-
Meanwhile, King Kong
This is what I would
Godzilla,
expect if the
Yeah.
Ring and the Grudge were to fight.
Godzilla's
Something
a-
odd and abstract.
Godzilla's a kaiju. Of course, his fight scene is going to be more fleshed out.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. But when it comes to Ring and Grudge fighting, I feel like, okay, I think I'll change my vote to Ring versus Grudge being better than King Kong versus Godzilla. I think we need to figure. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if Ducko agrees, but I don't know what should we do with Shark versus the Werewolf on further.
I
On
think
further
the
viewing,
reason-
where do you think it would go?
I think the
Uh,
reason Shark vs. Werewolf was that high was because we actually had fun watching it.
Yeah.
The final fight of King Kong vs. Godzilla, again, I think it's better than the final fight of Sharktopus vs. Werewolf.
I think it's better than any fight scene in Shark vs. the Werewolf. Do you think we might have just been a little Sharktopus high during that movie?
Possibly, but
I mean,
I
I
don't
can
know how
totally,
Ribbit
I
will
can
feel.
totally see why we put it where we did. Because
we were
King
having
Kong-
fun.
No, yeah. Because if I'm gonna watch a movie, I'd much rather watch like a fun bad movie than a boring bad.
But I guess if I wanted to look at it objectively, King Kong vs. I think we like Shark vs. the Werewolf better as a movie for being entertaining, but it was not a satisfying versus movie as much as King Kong vs. Godzilla's final act.
Yeah, I'll say King Kong vs. Godzilla can beat out Shark vs.
And I'll
Werewolf,
say
but
Ring vs. Grudge is better than King Kong
Yeah,
vs.
I
Godzilla.
can't. Yeah,
Okay.
I can't say King Kong vs. Godzilla is better than Ring vs. Grudge.
Yeah. So
Alright.
that's where I think we can put it. That's pretty good for Ring vs. Grudge. That's decently high enough, I guess.
Sorry, Sharktopus and Werewolf.
Sorry, Sharktopus and Werewolf.
You had your 15 seconds
You're
of fame.
hot. Yeah, you
Yeah.
had your minute. But we've fought about you too long. We've realized they shouldn't have been that high.
We let them go.
We let them go. We let them off in the ocean where they belong. So now I think we can finally get to what's next on the Best Versus movie. And, regrettably, we have another double feature on our hands, and we're realizing how exhausting those can be, but we're gonna tough it out for my boys, the Demonic Toys, who are going to be fighting not just the Puppet Master group, but also Doll Man!
Doll Man.
I do not know any of these, but I do know that on one of the posters, I can't remember which one, the Demonic Toys...
It was the Puppet Master poster.
Okay, on Puppet Master, see, Max already knows. Demonic Toys' side has this clown, and on the poster, it just looks like he's going...
Yeah, that's Jack in the Box, but they gave him a bad redesign. Regrettably, I actually know quite a bit about Puppet Master and Demonic Toys. I don't know shit about Doll Man. That'll be a treat.
Dear. Puppet Master... Wait, which one's... There's a guy named Blade, and he looks like...
Blade. Blade is from Puppet Master.
He looks like Mac Tonight.
Well, we'll get to that next time, but as for now, thanks for watching this episode of the Best Versus movie, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.